Hey YouTube, Ramziggy here, bringing you guys a new review on the LEGO Creator Expert line, the Modular Building Bookshop. It's set number 10270. It comes with 2,504 pieces, and it retails for $180 at the LEGO store on lego.com. So the set comes with 5 figures, as you can see here in front, and we're going to get right into it. But first, before I get onto the figures, I'm going to get onto one of the little extras, which is the little airplane that you get. It's a toy airplane that goes to the young boy over here. And the whole story on the box art, I believe, is the plane gets stuck in the tree, but you'll see that in a little bit. So it's a simple little build. There's the hat propeller piece, which I believe that's from the minifigure series or the LEGO City line. Either way, it's a really nice little build for a little model plane. So let's move on to the actual figure that uses it, or that's supposed to belong to, and it's this figure right here. It's a basic printing on his torso, which I'm not familiar if this is in the City line or not. I do believe it is. It's like a little plaid jacket with a t-shirt underneath, which is appropriate since it's supposed to be the set's set in fall. He comes with I don't think it's olive green, but light green scarf, and he has double face printing, like a more scared face here, and on the other side's a more cheerful face. So it's nice that we got a double face print on that figure. And a light blue beanie. The next figure, I'm not sure what he's supposed to be. I know it's just supposed to be a gentleman that I believe is supposed to be trying to give the store owner the flowers or whatever. Either way though, it's a nice figure. I do like the overalls with the suspenders printing. I never seen that before. It's a nice basic print though. He has a light tan tie. No leg printing, unfortunately. But none of the figures have leg printing, so it's not that big of a deal. He has a double-sided face as well. A really cheerful face, and then just a smile on the other side. And then the flower piece that he has, it's 2 pieces put in one. It's this is a little bit of not a stem, but a piece of tall grass piece, in my opinion. And a new to me at least, a new flower piece that's in pink. Again, since I'm so used to collecting Star Wars stuff, this is brand new to me, so just bear with me. Here's what I assume is the grandfather of the boy, because on the box art he's getting the airplane out of the tree. So I'm just assuming that this is the grandfather, which again, he has a plaid flannel shirt on. No double face print. And he has a light bluish gray torso, or legs, and light bluish gray hair. And I know everyone calls him, in a joking manner, put glasses on him, he's the George Lucas minifigure. So, that's all I know about him. Next is what I'm believing is to be the grandmother and the wife of the grandfather, obviously. She ain't that bad of a figure either. She has clippers in her hand. She comes with for the garden in the back of the teal house. I do believe, yep, she has a double face print. They're both generally the same type of facial expression, so they're nothing special. And I believe this torso came in the LEGO City minifigure pack for not the park, the outdoors one. that came with the tent. I do believe that came with the photographer, that torso print. Lastly, here is the Bookshop keeper. She has an interesting hairpiece, I'm not going to lie. This, like I said, a lot of this is new to me, the hairpieces, except for the elderly gentleman. But it's a nice new hairpiece to me. And she has a double-sided face. This one where her eyes are closed, like she's like sleeping or relaxed or whatever. And then this one is just a cheerful one. She has sand blue leg printing and a purple overcoat, or whatever you want to call it, over a light purple shirt. And lastly, I just threw this in here. You do get a brick separator with this set, but I'm fairly certain any sets over $60 at this point have a brick separator, because I know the ATAP that came out this year, or last year now, I mean, has a brick separator. But figured I'd just mention that in case if anyone cared to know. So now the set does split into two, just like the pet shop, which I don't have. So we're going to shift our focus a little bit onto the bookstore itself first, and then we'll shift our focus over to the house. So the bookshop itself, I do enjoy a lot. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to break off the top part and work my way downward. So the top floor here, this is the very top floor. You have a bay window here, and when you take off this back piece, which is very sturdy built, at first I thought it wasn't going to be, but when you build it, you see how nice it is. You have a nice little teal bed in here with a chameleon tank. And the chameleon is supposed to be represented that he could go onto the bed, and since chameleons, change their color, he would blend into the bed's color. Which I didn't have the chameleon from the minifigure series line, so getting this getting this little chameleon is nice now to have a new piece in my collection for just animal wise. Besides the bed and the bay window, you have a little access point here for the staircase to come up to for in this bedroom, which you'll see here in a minute. But there's not really much going on in here. If you have a few extra pieces around, you could probably make like a dresser drawer or something. Just something to add more detail to the room. But it ain't too bad. Just a little empty on the back half, but the top floor ain't that bad. The second floor is where what I enjoy the most. So you got two more larger windows, which are nice. On the back half, you have a little patio with two dark earth green chairs and three fencing with the nice little posts, which is nice. It's a little cramped on the back. You can't stand a figure going to look this way. You can't stand a figure to look towards the patio itself or the chairs itself. You can only stand the figures to look towards the camera, for example. But inside the house itself, just bear with me here real quick. Gotta adjust the camera. So, looking from this right here is the front of the house, just so I can give you guys an example. You have a grandfather clock back here that is built into the wall. A part of it is. So it's hard to get an angle on it. But it's... if the camera will focus for me. There we go. That is a printed piece on the grandfather clock. And there's a gold stud inside to represent the swaying arm. You got a old lamp right there with a coffee mug, a leather recliner, a nice little circular rug, and a very interesting build on the spiral staircase, which I do enjoy the build on the spiral staircase. You do have the door to go in from the patio here, which it doesn't swing all the way open, but that's okay. It ain't that bad of a second floor for what would be considered like the living quarters for the bookshop owner. It just gets a little cramped in my opinion. If once you put one figure in there, it does get a little cramped. So going on to the back half of the main first floor, there was an extra piece there, my bad. The back of the bookshop is very bland. You just got a green door and two windows. The windows are the shutter windows that you can open though, which is nice. And you do have a stud on the door to open up the back. Now when you look in the back, it's very dark down there. Even once you take off the stairs inside the building, it's still considerably dark. Just a fair warning if you were going to like pose any figures back there. And it's also very cramped once you get back there. But before we go inside, let's talk about the front of the building. So since this was my first modular building, it was an interesting build putting down all the tile, and I built it when I was kind of tired. So looking at the instructions, if you're tired and trying to build this and looking at the tiles can be like playing an eye game with you, where you're making sure that you have everything done right. But it's a very nice tile work. I will give Lego props on that. The tile work is great. You have a little jumper stud here to pose like one of your figures outside, which is nice. And I guess you could say the same for where these leaf pieces are. There's jumper tiles too, but since the leaf pieces are supposed to be there, you know, you want them there no matter what. But if you wanted to, you could put the leaf pieces back on the tree itself, and then have more tile space or tile jumpers for your figures. You get this little thing of books out here, which I do believe is supposed to represent like where you can donate a book, but then take a book if you can't like afford to buy books or something. I believe that's where I read it. You have a printed tile there that says "Once Upon a Time." It's hard to focus because it's such a small print, but it says "Once Upon a Time" there, so like a fairy tale type thing. Inside the bay window there, or the store shop window, I mean, you have a printed tile on a book that says Moby Brick, referencing one of the more famous books about a more famous book. You have the Birch Book sign right there, which, again, there's no stickers in the set, so this is all printed. These two tiles right there, they're 2x4 tiles. You have a lantern right here, which is upside down from where it normally is, which is interesting to see them put it upside down. You have green stained glass pieces on top of the bookstore there, which gave me reminders towards the brick bank, which I wonder if that's where they took the inspiration from. Which I don't have the brick bank, but I bet the Birch Bookstore put the brick bank right here and put the Birch Bookstore right next to it. I bet it would flow nicely together. Forgot to also mention there is a little grill piece here to represent a storm drain, which is nice. And now one of the more focused things is the actual birch tree itself. Now the birch tree, it can come out of the thing, but I'm just going to take it off the plate. It's in an iron planter like you see in most cities in America and whatnot. And it comes with the fall leaves, which is very nice that we have the fall leaves now, which I believe Lego might be trying to use these a lot more, because I think the treehouse set from August was the first time we got fall leaves in abundance. And now it just seems like Lego is just pushing the fall colors, which I'm not complaining about because I do enjoy fall. It is my favorite season, so they can keep releasing fall colors all they want. You have a little bit of a green still left on this birch tree here, which is, you know, kind of nice that we have some representation that the season is changing. Same with up here. You got more of the leaf pieces that you have down here on the road, or I mean on the sidewalk. You have them on the tree itself. Some of them do help, like that one does help hold the bigger leaf pieces onto the tree, so that's key. You have another one of those stem pieces in olive green. That's olive green. My bad, guys, about the scarf earlier. But you do have it in a new color. You have a little blue bird here in a nest, which I believe the nest is from one of the minifigure series. It's an interesting build, nonetheless, but I do believe so. And the tree is made out of the Technic pieces, and since it's a birch tree, it's one of the only times that I will let one of these like pieces with the slot in there stick out, even though everyone usually tries to hide them away. The only one I hid away was up here on this piece, because there's a blue Technic pin. I only hid that one away. But all the ones where there's the black Technic pins, because it's a birch tree, I did stick them out just so that it does look appropriate. So that was the first building, or the first half of the modular, which, as I said, I do enjoy it. I do like this the Birch Books store. But now we're gonna move on to the house, which the house was more or less my favorite building. At first, I thought when I first got the set, I was going to enjoy building the bookstore more. But I actually do enjoy the house just a little bit more for the build-wise. So, in the front here, you got a street lamp, which is nice. And you got a flower pot for like a little garden. And you got two little flower pieces on the sides here. You got curved stairs, which I believe they said that they took some inspiration of the architecture design from San Francisco, which you'll see here in a little bit. But which is kind of why I got vibes with this with the window here. But I also got, I don't know if this is accurate, so if anyone knows, they can tell me in the comments below. I don't know why I got New York vibes because of this curved staircase, since there's some apartment buildings in New York with curved staircases like this leading out of the apartments. I did get New York vibes too. You got another jumper here for figures, so you could have like maybe like the grandmother figure or even the grandfather out front tending to the garden. And right below it there is another grill piece, which I'm not gonna worry about showing you guys, but like another storm drain basically. And you do get, I don't know, I forget if I mentioned it, but you do get the white lamp. So just like the bookstore, we're going to start with the top floor. Oh wait, I should show you the back while we're at it. So in the back, actually, you do have a little garden back here with two more of those plant pieces that came with the set. I'm assuming that you can say that they're like tomato plants or whatever, but you do get a pumpkin piece, which is nice. I didn't have that piece before, but now I do, and it's nice. You have wooden stairs going up to the back door, and on the very back, which I'll get it down now. On the very back, you have a back porch with another garden, a skylight, and you have a nice little window with a wooden door, which I just took out the railing on the fence for the back porch. Which I will also mention is that the back porch does have the different fence piece than the bookstore. So there are two different fences for both buildings, which is nice that it's not repetitive and gives some nice little detail. So for the top floor, you have in the bedroom, you have a orange bed with a dresser and an older lamp and a little flower pot. And the reason I say that I believe that this building is inspiration from San Francisco is you do get a printed tile with what's obviously the Golden Gate Bridge, which is very nice. On the front, you have 107, which is the item number, or I believe the color code for the teal. It's either the color code or the actual element ID, but I do know it's tied to teal in that sense that that's the number. I forget the roofing design, what it's called, but where the shingles on the roof are like alternate round, but they're alternating. You do have that pattern here, which I do very much enjoy. It was a little bit of a pain to build at 12 at night, but what can you do? You got little fence pieces up here on the roof itself, and you have a little chimney pipe here. And besides that, that is the top floor. I do like the top floor. When you do take off the top floor, though, these two pieces are separated. I will mention that. So when they're together, it should look like that on the side, but they do separate. So I will just mention that, just if anyone is wondering. So the main floor here is when you walk up the stairs, you have two jumper tiles here with two lamps, and you have the I don't know the proper pronunciation for the window. I just call it the curved window, but you have that there, and you also have was supposed to be glass, but I'm assuming it's like those privacy glass blocks where like they're like hard, you can't really see through them, but they still emit light through. That's what I'm assuming that's supposed to represent. Inside here, though, is where it's very detailed. This is where I actually liked this build more than the Bookshop, just because it was a little bit more detailed. Where back here you have a fireplace, which is very nice. I did enjoy the build of the fireplace. You have a picture of a sailship, or sailboat. Yeah, sailship. You have a picture of a sailboat over here. You have a couch or bed, you could, whatever one you could say it is, in front of the window, so you could have a minifigure like laying down and as a scene, so that it's laying down and you can see them through the window. You have a newspaper with a teapot and two teacups on the table with two brown chairs. More plants here in the corner. Here is like a spice cabinet, I believe, because it's hard to open that up unless I can find like one of the stud shooters, which I do not have. But basically, I guess I can just take it off. Oh, it broke. But basically, inside of here is supposed to be like a spice cabinet where you have multiple types of spices or like maybe like sugar or something. I don't know. But it's a nice little build. Just know that if you want to have the scene of like maybe one of the figures opening them, if you're like taking photos of this set, just to or whatever, you have to either leave one of the panels open when you're building the set, or do what I did and kind of break the set just to get it. That's one little annoyance. Here you have a mat when you walk into the house, an orange mat, and over here you have coat hooks and a hat rack. Now, what's nice is you get an umbrella piece, but those are two microphone pieces that are holding the umbrella in place. That's actually really nice. It was a little clever build by Lego. And right here is a brown wooden door that goes to the basement. And obviously, back here is the staircase that would lead up to the top floor. So that is the main floor, I call, of the apartment complex, or just city home, townhouse. I don't know why I'm saying apartment. So next is going to be what is considerably the cramped basement. So once you look past the stairs here and go into the basement, you have a little workbench with a brown bag, and there's more clippers right there on the wall itself. You have clippers there. You have a mouse trap here, which is a nice little touch. And you have the ladder here. And basically, you have a trapdoor over, not a trapdoor, but a basement door there, where you're supposed to be able to take your ladder right through the door to go get the airplane out of the tree. So you have and you also have the wooden stairs that lead you up from the basement here. So the basement is very basic, but it does its job for what they did with the modular. But that's all that you get with the set. I know it wasn't the best review of this set. Probably someone would do a little bit better, but that was just a general quick overview in my opinion. The little gripes I have with this set is there's not much besides these railings here. They do like to move around a lot. I will warn you on that. These railing pieces can be very finicky and will move like that. And they don't clip in place, they just rest there. So if, say like you accidentally bump the set, just double check those pieces, because they're more than likely they've moved. Obviously, I'm not gonna complain about the sides here, because I know people usually like to go, it looks ugly on the sides. Well, it's a modular building, and obviously Lego makes the walls one brick thick. If you want a double thick wall, that's going to be more pieces and it's going to be more expensive. And Lego's trying to make it as cheap as they can already, in my opinion, for us, while it's full of detail. Like, this set was actually one of my most fun builds I ever did, and I do have a lot of Lego sets. I just enjoy building this set a lot because it was something different, and just the detail that they packed into this set for making it look like a realistic part of a city, which obviously isn't modern themed, but it's still it's a great set. I'm definitely probably going to buy another modular set. The next one I do want to buy, because of this set being good, the next one I do want to get my hands on is Assembly Square, just because this set kind of made me confirm that I do enjoy the modular series now because of that. So I just hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed my little thoughts and opinions on the set, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new and you enjoy what I'm doing here. Thank you, and have a good day, guys. Later.